You're watching the Week 9 Panic Chamber here on the Fantasy Football Show, and we're breaking down all the names you see in front of your face right now, dragging them in or out of the Panic Chamber.
Smitty, what's the Panic Chamber?
The Panic Chamber is where we put players we're worried about moving forward for Weeks 9 on. We may still believe in them. We may actually buy players in the Panic Chamber. Just because you live in the Panic Chamber doesn't mean you can't do well, doesn't mean you don't have value. It's all about buying low and selling high at every point during the fantasy season. Like, I'm going to talk about Aaron Jones and how you can buy him low. You can also sell him high. You can be panicked about him, or you can take advantage of the panic. Let's break down every name right in front of your face and probably more. I'm sure I left someone off. We'll drag in the Fantasy Football Show. Begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Smitty.
Let's kick it off with the quarterbacks, and let's talk about Patrick Mahomes. Look, he's in the panic chamber in a lot of your minds, but do I have him there? No, I do not, because Patrick Mahomes is still capable at any moment of snapping out of any kind of funk he might be in. Even when he was kind of struggling, he's been struggling more lately, but even when he was said to be struggling, he was still scoring fantasy points. And for a little perspective, Mahomes in week 1, 3 TDs, week 2, 3 TDs, week 3, 3 TDs, then 5 TDs. I mean, are you really going to judge him off a handful of games after he starts off the year so hot? Like, give me a break. How knee-jerk reacting are we really becoming in this day and age? And we saw with Josh Allen, him do nothing in the first 2 quarters of last week's game. People were panicking like crazy. Josh Allen was going into the panic chamber for a lot of you, entering quarter number 3 in week number 8. But like elite quarterbacks always do, they bounce back. Josh Allen scored not 2, but 3 total touchdowns in that second half of week 8. Mahomes is going to bounce back much like Josh Allen did in that game last week. No one has figured him out. The offense isn't jiving in general. They're getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire back soon. Some might laugh at that, but he was playing really good when he went down. 2 back-to-back touchdowns in games, back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. We'll see how the Chiefs end up using all those running backs, though. I do worry a little bit about volume for CEH moving forward, but I think that everything's going to come together. We got to throw Kelce on this list as well. Buying low on Kelce, buying low on Mahomes, buying low on Tyreek Hill, all very, very good ideas right now, while people have this weird notion that things won't rebound, that bizarro world will always stay upside down. No, Patrick Mahomes is not in the panic chamber. He is safe, and so is Travis Kelce. Go get him. So is Tyreek Hill. Go get him. These are some of the safest players to go get, even though some people are panicking on them. Hill, Mahomes, Kelce.
You are safe.
Justin Herbert. Everything I said about Mahomes, you can kind of apply right here. This is a MVP potential type quarterback. I know he was playing that way, then he wasn't, then he was, then he wasn't. I'm not saying he might not be up and down the remainder of the year. He potentially could, but I'm buying him and Mike Williams all day long. While people have them in the panic chamber, I do not, because the cost of entry is very reasonable right now. While other people have them in the panic chamber, I do not. I'm buying low at every turn I can. Give me Mike Williams, give me Herbert. They feel safe moving forward at the cost of entry. And if you own them, hold them. You guys are safe.
You are safe.
Same thing goes for Keenan Allen. A lot of people freaking out about him, but he feels safe as well. Keenan Allen,
you are safe.
Now, Aaron Jones is a good topic to bring up because you have Aaron Rodgers now out week number 9. Packers have a bye on week number 13. Potentially 2 weeks, the bye week, obviously, and this upcoming week 9 where Aaron Jones could hurt you. So I would trade him high if the price was right. If I can go get a Tyreek Hill and you give me back another running back somehow, I'd do that. I don't think anybody's giving you Tyreek Hill, but if we use another wide receiver in the same logic, if we say, okay, give me Mike Williams and give me a DeAndre Swift, now all of a sudden I'm really liking that swap, that trade down from Aaron Jones into DeAndre Swift, and you give me a Mike Williams. And I always talk about this when you do a 2-for-1 trade, when you're getting 2 players for your 1 player, the objective is always to get 2 players that in their own right could hold a candle to the trade. They can hold a candle to the main player you're giving up. So in the case of Swift, he could potentially be as good as Aaron Jones. Would you draft him over Aaron Jones? No, you wouldn't. But could he be as good? The answer is potentially. Could Mike Williams, who was playing like a top 5 wide receiver at one time, hold a candle to Aaron Jones value-wise? He could. He's not going to beat him, but he could hold his own if worst-case scenario Swift went down. That's how you do a 2-for-1. You got to feel really good about both players that you're getting, and this is a good deal that I would make for Aaron Jones, getting rid of Aaron Jones. But it doesn't mean I don't like Aaron Jones. People are panicking about A-Rod being out this week, the bye week coming up, and if you can get him for a reasonable value, I trade for him as well. Just because you live in the panic chamber or live in a world where I will trade you away, that doesn't mean there isn't a world where an alternative universe where I will also buy you. So while many will say, oh, Debo's a top 5 wide receiver, I love Debo Samuel, I'll trade Debo all day long if I can get an Aaron Jones. If I can sell high on a Debo Samuel, sell him as a top 5 wide receiver to get myself a top 5 running back, and I believe Aaron Jones can deliver that kind of value, I'm doing that all day long. Aaron Jones, you're safe in my mind, buddy.
You are safe.
We haven't thrown anybody in the panic chamber yet. Let's take care of that right now. Christian McCaffrey. Look, he was a good buy low a couple weeks ago, and everything's evolving. Everything is ever changing. Values go up and down, and every inch we get closer to him coming back, his value has gone up. You can get more if you own him in a sell high scenario. Buying him for Mixon earlier in the year was a great move. But I'm telling you right now, I'm sounding the alarm. It is time to trade him. It is time to trade him now. If you trade him before this video ends, because right now you could potentially get yourself a Tyreek Hill and another player like Darrell Henderson. You can get an Aaron Jones right now and a Mike Williams for your Christian McCaffrey. I do this all day long. I take the Aaron Jones and Mike Williams side. You could get a Swift and potentially, let's call it a Swift and, let me throw a Diggs out here. Swift and Diggs. I'll take a Swift and Diggs all day long over Christian McCaffrey. I will. And because I can, and because fair market value commands that of a trading away of Christian McCaffrey, you need to do it now. Because guess what happens if Christian McCaffrey, I need to put McCaffrey over here. Guess what happens if McCaffrey busts on you? You're going to be in the same situation you were if you own Derrick Henry and then he's raptured from the planet and you no longer have anything to show for because you didn't sell him high enough before he broke down, which is what we talked about would happen on the show over and over. Christian McCaffrey, Mike Thomas, same pattern as last year was repeated this year. It smelled an awful lot like the same thing. We're not hearing any updates. Things are getting dragged along. All of a sudden, MT's out again for the rest of the year. Disappointment. Same repeated pattern from last year. Christian McCaffrey feels like he's on the same darn course that he was last year. And if I'm wrong and McCaffrey blows up, what happens to you? You don't lose any sleep. I don't lose any sleep. My advice to trade him high was not wrong. It was a wash. If McCaffrey does work out and he blows up, Diggs and Swift will be plenty. You will make out in the deal. The other owner that gets McCaffrey from you will make out in the deal. I'll lose no sleep whatsoever. I will not be wrong. I cannot be wrong in this scenario unless the players you get both get hurt. But you're getting 2 players you'll be plenty happy with even if McCaffrey works out. Win for you. But it's not a win-win for the other owner, because if McCaffrey doesn't play well, you're going to make out like a bandit. I'm selling McCaffrey. McCaffrey, you're in the panic chamber. And I don't feel comfortable moving forward, given what I can get for you in a trade. It's all about that. If he only had Mixon type value, he's worth holding. He's worth playing. He's worth trading for. But he doesn't have Mixon type value any longer. He has Diggs and Swift combined value. You can get a big dog using McCaffrey. You might be able to get Alvin Kamara straight up for Christian McCaffrey right now because people are worried about him. And I'll go ahead and say it right now. I'm not. What has Kamara ever done to disappoint you? Nothing. The answer is nothing. I'll answer it for you. 83 receptions his first year, 83 receptions his second year in the NFL, 83 receptions his third year. And what does he do in his fourth year? A year people doubt him. Oh my God, what's he going to do with the quarterback controversy constantly going on? You got Drew Brees down and Taysom Hill in there. He drops 85 receptions was it last year? 85, so 83, 83, 83, 85. Has he ever failed you? No, so stop talking about his quarterback situation when he does nothing but deliver. Is he in the panic chamber? No, he's not. He's down here. He's safe.
You are safe.
Kamara is safe, but Christian McCaffrey is not. When you can get a Najee Harris straight up right now for Christian McCaffrey, you do it. Times have changed. Things evolved. We adjust and adapt. It's my job to tell you when I get a weird feeling like I was high on Barkley in January, February, and I turned directions. It was my job to tell you, hey, this isn't being wishy-washy. This is adjusting and adapting. Stay away from Barkley. What's Barkley done? Done nothing but disappoint you. And yes, Barkley, we're talking about you. You're in the panic chamber. Because not only are you very questionable for this week, and tested positive as well, and is on the list, the C list. He also, and I think he's testing negative potentially now. There was maybe some false positives. That news has been back and forth. But Barkley is very, very questionable, in my opinion, as of this moment of this recording, and it could change by the time you watch this. And just a little interruption because that video was recorded minutes before the news broke that Barkley is in fact out for week number 9. Then Barkley has a bye in week 10, so if he doesn't play week 9, which he's not, he sits out week 10, you're not going to get anything until week 11. But what do people still tell you? We didn't draft Barkley for weeks 1 through 10, Smitty. We took Barkley for weeks 11 on. Well, have fun with that. I don't think he'll stay healthy. I'm rooting for him. I don't wish injury upon anybody, but patterns are being recognized. These two players feel like they're falling into a pattern that in hindsight will be very, very, very clear to you. Christian McCaffrey, panic chamber, pal. Saquon Barkley, panic chamber, pal. J-Rob, panic chamber, pal. J-Rob, I don't know if he's going to get healthy. He feels very risky right now. What's his role going to be when he is back to form? I don't know how I feel about the offense. I'm going to say trade him high if you can. Don't sell him dirt cheap. Don't sell him for a box of crackers or anything, but you do need to make sure that you are taking advantage of package deals. What is the cure for trading away a player nobody wants? A package deal. Can you get a guy like Mike Williams and a potential, where's our boy DeAndre Swift? Where's Swift at? Where's Swifty? Swift and Williams for J-Rob? Maybe you can't get the double, but you could probably talk someone into Swift and J-Rob, even if you gave them a little baby Brandon Cooks or something that you can toss into the deal. Maybe a tight end. Tight ends are tough to come by right now. Maybe you got 2 of them. Figure out a way to sidestep into a player that's kind of ranked around where J-Rob is. Henderson, Swift. Give up a little more to get it done because Swift is a better upside guy than J-Rob. J-Rob, you are in the panic chamber, pal. Ceedee Lamb, we're worried about his week 9 status, of course, but everybody's on a stationary bike right now. Everybody's on a stationary bike right now. Even I'm on a stationary bike right now. Will I start week 9? We don't know. Nobody knows. But what we won't do is panic about Ceedee Lamb and his value going forward. It's a week 9 issue. He may play. He may be fine. Let's not freak out. You are safe for right now, Ceedee Lamb. Even if you sat out week 9, you're still safe in my book.
You are safe.
What do we do with Ceedee Lamb, Smitty?
You thank him and ask him for another. That's going to do it for week number 9. Christian McCaffrey, Barkley, J-Rob. Wait a minute. Did I put Aaron Jones in the panic chamber? He's sitting in the panic chamber. He's not in the panic chamber. Get out of there. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, you're safe.
You are safe.
Why did I put him in the panic? Was I just explaining something, or what was going on with that one? Aaron Jones, I'm sorry about that, pal. J-Rob Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, time to worry. Catch all my content at Smitty1.com. Get your one-on-one text advice at HeySmitty.com, and make sure you get your lifetime membership. Never pay for content again. Go to SleeperU.com. If you order a lifetime membership right now at SleeperU.com, click on pricing, toggle onto the lifetime memberships. I will give you a free 1-hour draft call in 2022. I will draft with you in 2022 if you order today. Go get your lifetime membership. Buckle up.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty!
Take a lap. And just a little interruption, because that video was recorded minutes before the news broke that Barkley is in fact out for week number 9.